OK，行，那我们开始。
嗯
OK, so today we're gonna invite. So this is like a podcast, So today we're gonna invite my friends Kylene. He's currently studying in psychology and drama in University of Toronto. So yeah, so basically the topic that we're gonna talk about today is about mental health and also the past and the future and and the current status. So yeah, let's welcome Kylene.
Hello.
And hi, how you doing?
Doing good.
Good. All right. So how do you feeling today?
Feeling okay. Normal day. Lots of sleep. That's good. Yeah, pretty much it.
A lot of sleep.
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, sleeping is good for your mental health, isn't it?
That's true.
Okay. And how was going in the past week?
Past week it hasn't been a lot. Taking some classes, spending some time alone. Weren't much exciting news happening. Nothing special.
Nothing special.
Yeah.
Because what I heard about is actually there's some like UTSU having some issue over there, which is kind of stressful situation.
Well, it kind of pissed me off, but it doesn't solve any problem like being mad. So that kind of it made me very upset at the moment, but then you have to let it go and try to solve the problem by taking some action, talking to someone, finding support, or like trying to solve the issue with them, like make things clear, like how they came to the conclusion, did they consult anyone, all those kind of questions you may address. That's the way to solve a problem. Like it's problem based, problem focused. It's your emotions doesn't really help doing a lot.
Okay, so you basically first feel a kind of like angry and anxiety towards the post, which is a little bit, debatable. And then I think the coping strategy you have using is pretty good, isn't it? I mean, how do you describe how you usually coping with this kind of stressful situations, like in the past?
I'd say I'm not that good at coping with stress. They do affect me like for quite a long time, sometimes hours, sometimes a day or so. And what I do is I just accept that I have all these emotional feelings. I might get upset, angry, tired, or sad. All those feelings, I accept them. I negotiate with them. So I talk to myself. Name the feelings. In terms of it's okay, it's normal to be feeling things, and you settle down your feelings, but still you need to solve the problem later on. And that's something you don't want to like bring your emotions into, especially when you're dealing with interpersonal issues there. So you want to remain calm when you're dealing with a problem, so that your emotions doesn't jump in and ruin everything. Or if you're just doing your work, writing an essay and stuff, and you're so mad and you're emotionally unstable at that time, it's not good for your productivity and all those stuff. So I deal with my emotions first, and then I solve the problem.
I mean, that strategies can be quite useful for the audience, currently are listening. So yeah, so I would say like, if you are actually, experience some stress events, you can first you can name it, like you can name the stress, and also, you can also first naming the stress, and also just trying to cooperate with the emotion you have right now, and so when it turns out later, the emotion becomes more find the balance of themselves, then you can be more focused on the problem itself instead of the emotion.
Exactly.
That's what I'm suggesting to the audience. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the coping strategy. Yeah. So, and our next question is about how would you describe in your current mental, situation? Are you feeling stressed, a little bit anxious, relaxed, calm? How do you name in your current, emotional status, emotional feeling?
Um, I wouldn't say I'm very calm. It's never been very relaxed for me, I would say, because there's something chronic stress going on, I would say. Um, it does make me like quite unstable. From moment to moment, they change drastically. I can be like crying last minute, and I'm talking to you just like that. It could be, and it's that thing going on with me. I don't exactly know why. That's true. I don't exactly know why, but it could be happening to anyone else if it's happening to me.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that yeah, still it's okay to feel things and just accept them.
I mean, actually, a lot of people are experiencing mental distress. They are feeling like they are alone. However, they doesn't know like everybody, just like us, everybody have the feeling. They can experience every single individual. They can experiencing dramatic emotional changes. This kind of emotional just like a human being. And
Yeah.
this feeling of connection with the other and we are not alone can actually just helping us to feeling this kind of support we have.
Hmm.
And I would say that's a really good a really good mindset, to
Yeah.
actually to know that I'm not alone.
Yeah,
I'm not
because
the individual. Yeah.
humans are we're social animals, right? So we long for connections, the sense of belonging. It's a basic need that you need to like be with somebody, talking to someone, or like doing your daily activities. Our ancestors learned to live as a group, and that makes us all stronger. And through all those hundreds and thousands of years, we have adapted. We build our societies based on the this basic principle that we live as groups. So yeah, it's definitely normal that we need social connections and social support. That's one of the most important things in our lives.
Yeah, I'm absolutely saying that. Like the audience right now, yeah, when you're feeling this kind of mentally stressed, just calling your friends, call your family, anybody around, just you just actually just talk with them, just telling them, a little bit about yourself, how you're feeling today. They may, most people are really willing to hearing your voice, how you're feeling. They do care about you, especially your friends, your family. They just want to know you. And sometimes they have this kind of feeling that maybe they doesn't want to interrupt you, like your academic, working. However, they have the hearts over there, right? Like they always have the hearts that, that's just gonna open to you. That's every time you're feeling uncomfortable, stressed, anxiety, fear, give a call, right? Just ask your friends, give a call.
Or if they're not available at the time, just maybe leave a message, or try something else like putting it down, writing it down to yourself, talking to yourself. It could be very helpful sometimes. Or there are lots of resources out there. I know we have Good to Talk, My
Mhm.
SSP, those programs at U of T.
Yeah,
They're available just there to take calls from you and help you deal with your distress. Yeah.
yeah. Give a call to the good to talk, right? They are
Yeah.
24-hour on the line, so why not? Why not using the resources
Exactly.
over there? Yeah, thank you so much. And okay, so our next question is about more about a little bit personal, and is about like, would you like just sharing like one mentally distressed or mentally you kind of feel like a mental crisis for you that you have experienced, and what and and how it goes, and And eventually the question is, what kind of help you think in that time that's gonna actually, helping you. Maybe they doesn't have it in that moment, but when you think it back, how do you think, those helping behavior can be provided?
So you're asking for a very
Like,
stressful moment
yeah,
and something that I did to like get out of it.
just like, any stress events, and you feel like maybe you can feel like really bad about it, and how did you, cope with, like, coping with it, and also what suggestion you're gonna make to the audience, and also to the audience that's in the future, what procedure we should take.
Got it. I would say there are moments like during the school year that I feel very stressful and I couldn't get myself into work. There are those moments when I know there's so much on my plate, but I just cannot get to like dealing with them. I don't have the energy to do so, or I just wanting to lie in bed and not doing work, just trying to like put them away. But still consciously knowing of their existence and you feel stressful because they're all just lying there and you're not dealing with them. You know it's wrong, but you really can't get yourself into working. And that's a moment when I know that I need to take a break. I tried to get to like work during those moments, during those times, and I'm not that productive, and they're not high quality work that I've done, and I don't feel good as well. So nothing's really doing good at those moments. Not my work, not my mental health, nothing. But if you can see there's not an urgent deadline coming up that night or something, just take a break 1 day or 2 days. That could be really helpful. Going out for a walk, finding some recreation activities, entertainments you can get that help you relax a little bit. And they don't give you enough holidays throughout a year, but you can take one for yourself. And just thinking back, when it helped me so much better when I took a break than I tried to force myself into work.
That's a really good point, because a lot of our audience is going to be mostly high school students, undergrads, also who are working right now. So yeah, I mean, and a lot of us actually like facing this kind of like overburden from academic, from work, and sometimes we just feeling I'm like, this is a really complex feeling, like, but however, when you just feel like a lot and just doesn't want to stay on it, that's because you are mentally out of power. And take a break, that's a signal of sending you that your mind are trying to say, go take a break, right? Go outside,
Exactly.
have some fresh air, and then come back. Even just like, I would say, like 20 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, like a break, is gonna help.
Well, I try to do 20 minutes break and I go outside, sit at the park, and I stay there for like 2 hours. That happens a lot.
Yeah, I mean, go outside is right now, it's like way much better comparatively, just what, like screening the phone, and actually just stay on the screen itself is actually building up some anxiety. Yeah, that's really good. So yeah, so we would recommend our audience taking a break. Our life, it's not all about working, it's about life, work, the balance, right? Only you find the balance, then you can actually achieving the best, instead of forcing yourself into the situation that you really just doesn't want working on it.
Speaking of work-life balance, there's something I learned from a learning strategist. So they say, don't just schedule your works, but schedule in the breaks that you want to take. So say I have 30 minutes between these two work periods that I want to like go take a walk or play some games, watch a show and stuff. Schedule those breaks into your daily routines so that you know when to take a break, what to do during that break, and then you reset yourself and get back to work and maintain that balance by putting them in your schedule, not just saying that, okay, I want to do this and this and this work, but you don't plan your breaks ahead of time.
That's a really good point. Even like just put your schedule with a break, because you're gonna mentally feeling this is achievable, right? Like you're gonna feeling this is like a human gonna do. We are not like robots, right? We're not like robots, like constantly we can like constantly working, constantly just like do everything. No, we are human being. Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. And also I need to go find my charger. I'm out of battery. I'm a little out of battery. Okay, let's give a break to the computer. Okay, that's good. So my next question is about how do you feel in like the currently, mental health support, and how do you feel about it? Like, is it enough in University of Toronto right now? How do you feel about it?
There are lots of resources there. They
Yep.
do have lots of resources. Those you can find by yourself in the community or provided by the school. We have consultants working for health and wellness. But I wouldn't say it's the most accessible. There are consultants, but not that much. Not that many of them to cover like everyone's needs. You need to schedule, and the scheduling process isn't that convenient, I would say. Their phone line is crap. You just can't get through the queue and they tell you to leave a message. So all those scheduling and stuff, it's not making the resources accessible. I know that many people don't know that these resources exist. So that I find that quite an issue going on, because we all know how mental health problems are quite common. That we all feel distressed. We need someone to talk to. We need their advice from the consultants, and we have these resources, but not everyone knows of them. Not everyone can access them. I would say that's quite an issue. And but otherwise, I would say they're professionals. They did their trainings. They're here to help, and they want to help. So they have many good advices. I had some sleep problems. I went to a session with them. We did some body scan meditations, mindfulness practices and stuff, and it really helped. So I had some great experiences with them, and I really hope that anyone who needs these resources can get the help that they need.
Okay, so accessibility. That's the your university, even they got a lot of resources. They need to find the bridge connecting the client, the consulants, and also to the students. We need to make it way much more easier for the students, way much more accessible, so they can just open their even just make it so easy, so they, because in the situation they feel like mentally stressed, they can be really like low in energy. If you requires a lot of energy trying to find the resources and actually and find it really hard to access, you probably just will give it up. You won't stay on the phone and trying to still exploring, since you're already low in energy. So that's a really good point. I think I would recommend to a lot of university that we need to focus on the accessibility. We need to make it way much more convenient comparatively to now, to the current state, which is a huge part of mental health. Just make it as easy as just like open the app and then you can just talk with someone, just like that.
Yeah, that's the thing, because they require reservations and stuff. So you have to book in a time slot, say a week ahead of time. But many times, or I would say most times, your mental health issues, they come like you need immediate help. And
Yeah.
there are phone lines and resources and help out there, but sometimes they don't actually have enough people to handle with the command, what's it called again, command supply,
Oh, demand and supply.
demand and supply, exactly. And they can't handle the demand. So
Yeah.
and when you need immediate help, you're still on your own. These resources aren't helping. I would say that's another issue there.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You know, if some audience are listening to this podcast, you know, maybe you can, when you have the power, maybe you can just, you know, more focus, put the power and put the resources you have to make it more accessible, make it more convenient, make it easier just for your students, because their life is already hard. You can just make the routes to the, and they can seek for the help a little bit easier. Yeah, thank you for that. And also our next question is, how do you feel like the public perception of mental health have been, you know, been changed or stay the same? How is public, you know, the people who are around you are perceiving the, like, even the term mental health comparatively, you know, to the years passed by, you know, 10 years ago, right now? How is it different?
I would say in the past, we've considered these mental health issues as illnesses. So if you're mentally ill, you're very mentally ill, and you need treatment, mostly they go to psychiatrists right now. But we've kind of neglected how common it is in everyday life, how everyone's having some bit of stressful moments, and these moments, they are worth getting aids, getting help from professionals, from mental health counselors and stuff. So I would say we perceive mental health as a more common thing. We're accepting them, and the good thing is we aren't being discriminant against people who claim that they have mental health issues that they need help. It's still there. Some people feel a bit ashamed that I feel those distress, or my emotions aren't stable, but luckily I think people are more open to it. So we're admitting that we need mental health support. I might be going through some mental health issues, and we know that it's totally fine. And I think that's the most important progress we've made in the past years, I would say.
That's a really good point. Because in the past, the stigmatization on mental disorder, and, you know, it's quite dramatic. It's just like it's been impacting actually impacting the whole human being. Since we, as a human, we have the demand on mental health, because we have physical health, we also have mental health. They are just like exactly the same thing. So, however, you know, as time goes, a lot of research are going on and finding, you know, mental health, you know, is just really part of your life. It's one part of your health. It's not only about physical health. It's you know, you got a physical illness like a diabetes, you know, and hypertension, and you mentally, you can feel stressed, you feel anxiety, you feel fear, you feel, you know, depression. They are just like a normal stuff. They're just like a normal part of life. Yeah, thank you for bringing the stigmatization of the, you know, mental health are changing and making some progress, which I think that's, you know, that's why we look forward for the future. Okay, and we have last two questions, since we are a little bit out of time. So okay, how do you think that, you know, in the future we're gonna, you know, find how do you think the proper way we're gonna deliver the help, you know, to the to the clients or to the people who they need in the future? Do you have like an idea, brainstorm? How do you feel? Because what I know is there's a lot of medicine, like they communicate online, they can working on it. There are also some VR, virtual reality constellation going on. So how do you think we're gonna deliver this kind of help in the future? Have you thought about it?
I would say still it's the accessibility thing that need to be solved. Like that should be the easiest to solve for now, and that will bring us a big step forward. Putting it into, say, the education system, your K-12 educations, they just have letting people learn about mental health, seeing them properly from a scientific perspective, perhaps, and providing those resources in communities, in schools, and making them accessible so that when I call your phone line, I shouldn't be waiting like hours to get through and stuff, and just making them accessible will bring us, like, that's a huge leap forward. And other than that, I would say it's still the destigmatization going on, but that would take longer to do. So yeah, it takes, I would say, generations to come. So I would still say that's a thing on education. So yeah.
Thank you for bringing up. Our educational system should put more attention and acknowledging the students, even in the kindergarten, in the elementary school, high school, we should acknowledging them that mental health is just a normal part. We should acknowledging those students with scientific study instead of the stereotype and the bias around the topic of mental health and mental illness. So yeah, thank you for bringing it up. We should make mental health more accessible. We should educating student, provide mental health education to students. And yeah, I think today is actually pretty productive for the audience. And a lot of stuff are going on here. Taking a break, right? When you feel distressed, taking a break. Naming your feeling. And all this kind of strategy, coping strategy, can make a difference. They can actually changing your whole emotional experience. They can make you feeling a little bit better in a struggle in life. Yeah. Thank you, Pylene. I appreciate it. I really appreciate your time and appreciate it. Your voice, your ideas, and your own experience. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Okay. So today we invite Joey. She's currently a high school student, study in Los Angeles Viewpoint School. So hi, Joey.
Hi.
Welcome to join us.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. So today we're gonna basically talk about the mental health situation, the past, the future, and also the current status of mental health going on. Individually, societal, like also in the societal level. So yeah, how are you feeling today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good as well. So how's going in the past week?
The past week has been fine. I got close contact with my friend who got tested positive, so basically I'm just staying home now. Didn't go to class today. Yeah.
Actually. So okay, so I mean the pandemic have a great influence on us, right?
Yes.
and a lot of isolation. How do you feeling about the isolation you had during this week?
I feel it's very because like there was quarantine before, so I'm kind of used to this, just staying in a room.
Yeah. How is how you feeling differently, during your first, quarantine and the second quarantine? Any change? Any, different feeling? How you talk?
Like the first time, I remember the breakout of COVID was like 2 years ago. I was a freshman in high school, and then remember they were just locked on, like everyone just sent us home. Like the school just sent us home to quarantine there, and I was like, I lived in a host family, but that family did not really care about me. They still go out and work and stuff, but COVID was really bad at the time, so I was kind of worried, so I didn't really leave my rooms, even though I live with them. And after like 2 months after that, like being quarantined, I decided to go back to China, and then I went back to China, got quarantined in a hotel for 2 weeks. And during that time, I just feel like, because I don't really like to go out a lot, so I'm kind of used to it. Like at the first, it was really hard because I don't get to see my friends, I don't get to see my family, and I don't, yeah. And also on the social media, it seems like really bad. So, and then it's getting better as like the quarantine getting longer. So this time, right now in my isolation, I feel like I have some time to do my own stuff to, yeah, find
Oh,
some
okay.
things to do.
Yeah, that's like kind of actually a quite, dramatic change for you. For the first time,
Mm-hmm.
you was like a little bit anxiety, I can tell. And also a little bit, like the feeling of fearness.
Mm-hmm.
Which everybody can have, you know, because of the disease itself, and we doesn't know it much. And this is kind of like unknown situation for the whole humanity. So, yeah, I mean, but I can tell, like, as you, had this many of, experience actually, in quarantine. Seems like you find your own coping strategy.
Um, my strategy is I still contact with my friend a lot. We have, our own Zoom meetings to play video games together, and we're still like connecting, like texting each other, FaceTiming a lot, and also like, playing some online games together. Yeah. I feel like, and also after I went back to China, I got to be with my family. So it's also helping me that I have someone around me that I can talk with, that I can socialize with.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like the audience, like who you are actually for the audience who are actually quarantined right now. I mean,
Mm,
you can absolutely, just, you know, find a way to connect with your friends, your family, and anybody around you. Just stay on the connection with the people around you, and that's gonna make the quarantine life a little bit easier for you.
yeah.
You know, yeah. I mean, I can. I mean, after like 1 week of quarantine, how would you describe your currently like mental situation? A little bit stressed, anxious, relaxed, calm. How do you feel? Well, Joey, I think you muted yourself.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you right
Oh
now.
yeah, yeah. I accidentally muted myself. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm feeling a little bit anxious about my classes because I couldn't be able to really catch up with the reading and stuff. And yeah, and I because I couldn't be in class, I can't really take notes either. So yeah, I'm just kind of anxious about my classes. I hope this is getting over soon that I can go back to class in person.
Okay, so actually, that's really acknowledging. Like, students are actually in quarantine, but they so this, like the world outside, they are actually still going on, right? So
Mhm.
you can be feel like a little bit, left off. You feel like, people are still making progress, but I'm like in the isolation, in the quarantine. So I think this is the approach, institution like, university can be taken, making, you know, students' life even a little bit better. Like, they can provide
Yeah.
resources for this, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened, like in this kind of situation, what are you expecting, the university, like they're gonna do in the future so, they can better prepare for this kind of situation for the student.
I feel like um because the teachers right now they're really like understanding and stuff. I feel like some canceling some of the gig assignments might be helpful because like just to say this summer at Stanford, the first week was the blackout, so we couldn't be able to really get the class. And for some of my classes, the teacher got sick or like something like that we couldn't be able to have class. But all of my teachers, they're still trying very hard to squeeze in the original content into the rest of the weeks. So this is really this is really stressful for like students.
Yeah.
So I would say like, yeah, rethink about the assignments.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a really, really direct approach. That's like professor can take, just give a relief to the students who are,
Yes.
in isolation and they are feeling sick. They're not feeling good. And if like they are still keeping the capacity and the amount of work just as usual, that's gonna causing a burnout of the students. I mean, they are already in this situation of the sickness. They are already low on energy. So yeah, I mean directly, just cutting off some assignment gonna give a relief to students
Yes.
and helping them recover.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for acknowledging that. So I mean, there's some audience, who can be the professor or teacher. This is the voice from students and from our own heart, from deep of our heart. I mean, yeah, thank you for acknowledging that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. So our next question is, um, what is like, how about like how about describing like one, mental health, like, right, like even just like bad mental health experience you had, or like a mental crisis you have experienced,
Oh,
or
I feel like for me the recent one was my parents. Like they're in China right now. We haven't seen each other for a year, and they're very worried about me applying for college. So that really stresses me out. That because their expectation for me is just staying in my dorm and studying every day, and so this is really stressing me out. It's most for me the mental crisis I have for this year are mostly from academics, from like the school stress, because it's my junior year in high school. So
yeah, I mean, especially for the graduate students from high school, that's gonna be a really really tough year.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, like for most of high school, like like rising senior high school students, they're experiencing the stress from getting applying for the university, trying to find the area they're interested. They are trying to
Yeah.
exploring the world, but also they are really being they are also need to worry and also pay a lot of attention on their grades and also their curriculum and also others, GRE and other stuff.
Yes. Very true.
Yeah, and also you have mentioned your parents' expectation, right?
Hmm?
You also mentioned like parent expectation can be actually,
Yes.
like a stress factor.
Yes, because especially like my parents, they don't really understand like how this like American school system work. So they're just like, yeah, I don't think they know what their expectations like really mean. They just like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, especially pop culture, right? Like especially in in Eastern Asian culture, in Asian culture, and
Mhm.
now in the North American culture, that's a quite dramatically different. And also the educational system is quite different. And this kind of culture difference can causing parents like misunderstanding and also
Yes.
miss like give a really high expectation to their child. It can causing a lot of mental stress. So during the isolation, you are still in isolation, like in a quarantine situation.
Yeah. Sorry, was that a question? I can't really hear.
Yeah. So basically, it's about like the mental, like a really stressful mental experience you have experienced recently, and
Mhm.
also, what do you think it should be provided? What do you think any help should be provided to make your life a little bit easier?
You mean from the school or from like any just in general?
From the mental stressful experience you mentioned recently. In this kind of situation, what are you expecting to, what help you are expecting that's gonna make you feel a little bit better?
Um, like, do you mean some kind of like actual help I can get, or just anything like that could help me?
Yeah, anything can help you.
Okay, I feel like you need to have a really um wait, let me word this. So when you're in a quarantine or in isolation like this, I feel like it's really important for you to find what your like interests, because that's the things that you can spend a lot of time on and you wouldn't get bored and you can do them by yourself. And also I feel like this is also think of it as a really good chance for you to actually spend some time alone. Maybe you try to, you know, try to work out in the room or anything. I feel like these are all really helpful.
So if your interest, spend some time on your interest and using them to as an entertainment, keep yourself still working on the go, still keeping yourself still activating. And also you
Yes.
mentioned, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's and also like and I think you mentioned like the self-caring, right? Like especially during this kind of high
Yeah,
speed,
self-caring.
yeah, like especially during this kind of high speeds like high speed society, like everybody's like in a hurry. I mean, actually, I think you are looking for the positivity, like on the like the quarantine life.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. That's our question 4. And okay. I will make a little bit like a summarize for the audience. So if you
Mm-hmm.
are right now in a quarantine, you can first you can put some time to your interest, which you may not have in the past. And second, also spend some time on self caring. You know, caring about yourself. You know, just
Yes. Self-care is very
taking
important.
yeah, because if you doesn't care about yourself, your body gonna ruin up, and also your mental health situation is gonna ruin up. So put some time on your self caring. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a really good coping strategy for those audience who are in quarantine. Thank you
Yes.
for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So also for the question 5 we have is, how do you feel about the current mental health support and and also the public perception of mental health? The first question is,
Um,
how do you feel about the current mental health support being provided?
I think right now I can see whenever you're like for example in my life what I noticed is whenever you Google something that relating to mental health, there would always like pop up a hotline for you to call and seek help for. So I think that is really good because yeah, because this helps people from like when they're having mental issues and provide themselves a place that they can got help. Um and also I think like schools they're having more and more mental health classes to like we like for example in our school we have like a wellness club or something like that to focus on students like mental health to support them.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually, we talk about with feeling with this first, our, participant and also the participant of this, podcast. We also mentioned like education is actually really important, and we also mentioned like, the education, the mental health education in junior high school, even like elementary school, it's really important. And I'm really curious, how is that taking place? How is the mental health classes like taking place? What are they like, they're doing? Like what are they
It's
actually teaching?
so um for example in our school our mental health club they would put up some posters, they would like giving out some speech to students to make them realize like um mental health for them is very important, and there's some methods that they can like do when they're feeling depressed, some ways to relieve the stress and stuff like that. Yeah, I feel like it's not really efficient in my opinion because lots of students because these classes or these speeches they are selective, so students yeah they don't
So,
really want to go.
the student may not actually taking it,
Mm-hmm.
and they are may not able to actually, have the knowledge to self-help.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good, really great point. I mean, that can be, for those audience who are actually working in the field of education, may considering, you know, find a solution for this, make it, become one part, can making them become like one part of educational system, self-care. Yeah, I mean, and also you mentioned like the hotline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is also really helpful. It's just really convenient. You just search Google search, it will pop up, it will give you providing the help.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for that. And also, let me also, uh, how do you think and how do you feel about the public perception of mental health right now?
I feel like for my parents or like people,
Yeah,
older people, they might think that mental health is just not true. Like they would think that, oh, you're just not strong enough, some kind of like that. So I see this kind of like misinterpretation there. But for the younger generation, I feel like before maybe the society might view mental health as a like a very negative, it's a very bad thing, and if you say tell people it might be humiliating, might be shameful, but right now I can see like more and more people are like recognizing the people who have mental illness, like why are they are that place or what try to understand what they experienced instead of just yeah.
I mean that's some progress in actually been made in past decades, right? Like in older generation and also in the context like cultural context in China, like, this is
Mm-hmm.
being considered as a like lack of strength, lack of mental mental strength. But however, after and generations like researching, clinical practice, seems like we are making some progress. At least for our young generation, we are more likely to think this is how we're feeling, this is how we actually experiencing, instead of blaming ourselves and make it even worse.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really great, since we are making some progress on mental health,
Yes.
how we perceiving that. Okay, and we are almost to the end, and we got two questions. A second last question is, how do you feel about the current mental health situation among among adolescents, especially the friends around you, in high school? How do you feel the mental situation among adolescents?
Like, how do I feel about my mental crisis situations?
No, actually, it's the people around you.
Oh,
Around you, like in your high school. How
I
how was it, like the mental health situation?
I think like the situation in my middle school, you can't really feel that because people are like too young at the time. But for high school, high school, I see the situation is like fine, at least around me. It's not really that bad. And for people who have like depression or like they have some mental health, they would seek for help for the teacher, for our mental wellness teacher at school. So yeah.
Oh, that's really great. So you guys have like mental wellness teacher in high
Yes.
school. How many of them?
There's I think there's only one right now.
There's only one right now.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's still better than nothing.
Yes, better than nothing.
Yeah. That's really great. Okay, so yeah, and the last question we're gonna have is, what kind of helping, or what kind of help, and also how should we deliver the help, to the to students, in the near future when they have some
I think
mental.
I think like education is really important in this part, how you can change people's mind. I think the schools either like should have more classes to help like the students to recognize mental health issues, and like these classes should be set at the younger age so people can know earlier.
Okay, so we actually found some common pattern. Most of our interviewee are saying that that we should put more our educational knowledge on mental health to even younger, younger students, that's like in elementary school, right? Make them a lot, to
Yes.
make them acknowledging themselves and recognizing how they are feeling.
Yes.
Yeah, and also, how do since there's some some mental health helping technology going on, such as telehealth, also like virtual reality, like helping. And do you have ever brainstormed that, in the near future, what are you gonna be look like, for the people who are seeking for help?
So like what can I help for people who are seeking for help, or just the methods, like
I mean, like in it, how do you gonna using the mental health support in the future, such as, 'cause there's some technology going on, right? Like they're
yeah.
using virtual reality. Also, there are people actually using, the Zoom. That's actually all like really recent technology. And have you ever thinking about this? Like,
I see. If in the future, I feel like, do you know how those like I don't know how to describe this, but it's like it's not Zoom, it's Zoom call, but it's 3D. So so there will be a person, like the actual person from the other side of the computer, and they can just like, take it, like scan their image, scan their body image, and put it into the computer, and it will Zoom meeting to the other, like to the patient, and then they can just, when they open the laptop, it was also just like there was just a 3D like vision of the person on the other side of the doctor. So they can get like, even though they don't have to physically be together, but they can still like feel like having body interaction with that person, with the patient or the doctor.
I mean, that's a really great idea. That's since psychotherapy and also counseling requires a lot of like body language recognition. And since right now Zoom call meeting can only recognize the face and most of the body are being disappeared and also not being recognized.
Yes.
And yeah, I think that's a really great idea for the future, and I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Thank you, Joey, for today, and it's great honor to have you today, and such in such a late time, and thank you for your time, your
Thank you.
patience. Yeah,
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you guys. Bye.
thank you.